All right, what is up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be looking at a new starter deck coming out. So this is a spoiler video. The deck that we're going to be checking out is ST-12. So remember, ST-11 was the green Uda deck. This is ST-12, Zoro and Sanji. And it's coming out, it looks like, according to the main website, the official One Piece website, it looks like it's going to be coming out in the West around March 2024. Okay. And we are using since it's not out in the West just yet, it is out in the East, but we're going to have to use the Asia English One Piece, website for the translation. So if you notice on the cards here, even the font is in Japanese still. But the effect that we can read over here is in English. So, again, this doesn't come out for a whole, 3 months? Actually, closer to 4 months, I think. I don't know. Because at the time you're recording this, it's November 21st. So, December, January, February, March. So, yeah, we're looking at, easily 4 months, 4.5. I don't know the exact math on it. Anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the leader here and then look at the deck that it comes with. I'm not going to do just full-on ratings like I've done in the past. I'm just going to kind of talk about if I think a card's good, not so much, or somewhere in the middle. Okay, so 5,000 power, 4 life, multicolored leader, completely standard. Now, this is a slash and a strike leader. So, that's interesting. I'm assuming that it is both simultaneously. So, in other words, a character like Buggy that's immune to slash type attacks. I'm assuming this doesn't go through. I'm not sure. If someone knows, by all means, comment in the comment section below. Give us the heads up on it. But it's definitely slash. But do you get to choose to use only one attribute? I don't think so. So Buggy would probably be immune to this leader's attacks, right? Okay, it's a green-blue type. Or colors, excuse me. The type is Straw Hat Crew, and the effect is Dawn ×1 when attacking once per turn. So it's just a 1 Dawn investment. You may return one of your characters with a cost of 2 or more to the owner's hand. Set it to one of your characters with 7,000 power or less as active. Interesting. I gotta look up Buggy real quick while we're talking about that. Okay, yeah. So for those who were wondering, like me, I just typed in Buggy over here, and I'm gonna bring it over. This character cannot be KO'd when battling slash attribute characters and leaders. So I'm assuming that he is definitely immune, or he should be immune to this leader's effect, or to this leader's attacks, right? But anyway, this actual effect itself is very powerful. Return one of your characters with a cost of 2 or more to the owner's hand. So that will allow for some pretty interesting shenanigans. Like one card that I think of just in my head right away is you could even potentially pull back a Trafalgar Law. The 5-cost, 6,000 power blocker Trafalgar Law that does all the shenanigans that it does. Or even the stand one and just get to use their effects later in the game. Or on the same turn after you've already swung with them. I think there's a lot of potential there. And of course you can set one of them as active if you do this effect the other way around, where you return another 2 cost or more to stand them. So really cool effect. I think this is a very good effect. My biggest issue with this leader is it's blue and green, and only has 4 life. That's of course my biggest issue with it. I've made this known in other videos. I personally think it is going to be very hard for any dual color leader to make it in the format, like in a competitive sense, if it does not have 5 life, or more, of course, or if it has 4 life, then it needs to have some type of factor, like with yellow, how it can gain life. And the same idea with like 6,000 power leaders, like the new Luffy, he's a 6,000 power 3 life leader. That's a little bit different because that's 6,000 power. But anyway, very interesting. I'm anxious to see how this turns out. And this is available already in the East, and I really haven't seen many showings for it, so I'm wondering if maybe it's not good, or I'm just not sure. We'll have to see. Okay, so next up is this character here, Kuina. This is a 3-cost, 2,000 power, 1,000 counter, Frost Moon Village type character. Okay, slash attribute. I think that there is a character in here I saw earlier that this does matter. Activate main, you may rest this character, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. Excuse me. If you can trigger play this card like it says right here, this effect is outstanding. It's a body on the ground, and it's a way to use our leader's effect. Okay, so that is very nice. What else do we got? Dracula Mihawk. Wow, this art looks really awesome. I had to pause for a second there. This art looks so cool. So this is a 3-cost, 4,000 power character that is also a 2,000 counter. So already I like what I see. The type is 7 Whirlers of the Sea / Muggy Kingdom. The effect is on play if you have 2 or less characters. 2 or less characters. Play up to 1 Muggy Kingdom type or / attribute character card with a cost of 4 or less other than Dracula Mihawk from your hand rested. So that's pretty nice, guys. So in other words, you can have, you can have a 4-cost in your hand to cheat this out with. So you play this character, and then you play out the 4-cost rested. It is rested. That's not ideal, but it does make sense for what you're doing, because I guess the idea comes down to using Zoro. So say you're on a 4-Dawn turn. Okay, well, you can play Mihawk to play out a 4-cost 6K vanilla that we're about to look at, and then you can attach your last Dawn onto Zoro and Sanji, the leader, swing for 6K, return Mihawk back to your hand so you have a 2K in hand, and then you stand up your 7,000 power or less character. So, I mean, there is a synergy there. It's a little combo-y, but I think there's potential there. And in fact, I want to look at these 2 next cards. I have done a little bit of... I've looked over these cards a little bit beforehand, so not a totally blind reveal. But this is a 3-cost, 5,000 power, 1,000 counter, Muggy Kingdom, or /animal / Muggy Kingdom character, just vanilla. And this is Perona, a 4-cost, 6,000 power, 1,000 counter character, Muggy Kingdom as well, and also Thriller Bark Pirates. Just a nice vanilla character you can cheat out with Mihawk. Very strong, potentially very strong. Next up is Yasaku and Johnny. 2 cost, 3,000 power, 1,000 counter, East Blue type. It is slash though, so we are going to be able to use that with the Mihawk. Effect, Dawn ×1. When attacking, choose 1. Either rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less, or KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 2 or less. So this is like your standard green mechanic, I feel like, nowadays, where it's like, okay, you can either rest the character or KO them if they're already rested, if it meets the, the cost. So, not bad. Just, it is kind of low. Maybe this finds a place in black-green Sakazuki or a black-green deck in the future. But as is, I don't think this is anything crazy. Next up is Rika. This is a 2-cost, 0 power, 2,000 counter. Okay. East Blue, on play, pay 2. So it's really a 4-cost if you want the on-play effect. If your opponent has 3 or more life cards, set up to one of your / attribute characters with a cost of 4 or less as active. Okay, well that does allow for some shenanigans later in the game, where, like, let's just use an example here. Like, let's just say we have Perona down. It's a 4-cost 6K. We can attach 1 to it, right, and make it 7,000. Swing, and then we can, oops, where is it? Play this out for 4 Dawn, and, well, for 2, and then activate for 2 to stand the Perona we just swung with. Right, because is it... No, wait. That was... It says slash type. Well, I'm sure we'd be able to find something with a slash attribute, but I'm not sure. Never mind. Y'all get the point, though. It would be able to stand, and then with your leader's effect for 1 more Dawn, you would be able to attack for 6, return that character we just played, the 2K, put it back in hand, and set up one of your characters with 7,000 power or less as active again to swing again. So it'd be like a 7K, 7K, 6K, 7K. Potentially very powerful. Very interesting. We would just have to find a character that it would work with. A 4-cost / attribute character that costs 4 or less. And that's if your opponent has 3 or more life cards. So, okay, maybe it's not like as great as it seems, but I think it has some potential. Because, I mean, you're just pulling the card back to your hand. Maybe it would allow you to play more defensively. So, really interesting. Next, okay, here we go. Here's a 4-cost 6,000 power / character in Zoro. No counter. Green, Straw Hat Crew. Effect of Dawn ×1 when attacking. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. Okay, and that is not once per turn, by the way. So that would be your potential chance to start cleaning up the board, right? If you, let's just say you have like a 7 Dawn turn. Okay, attach 1 here. Play the card we just looked at. That's going to be 4, so we've only used 5 Dawn. to swing again, and then attach one to your leader and swing again. So 6 Dawn. It'd be like a 6 Dawn turn. Very, very powerful potentially. But again, I don't know. It seems a little bit combo-y, and let's just be honest. How often is this character going to survive being played? I mean, maybe it will. Maybe if you get it right on turn 2, it'll survive. But against a lot of the decks that we see in the current meta, getting rid of a 4 cost is not exactly... it's not the hardest thing to do in the world, right? But this is still potentially a very powerful interaction with this deck. Elephant True Bluefin. This is a 1 cost, 3,000 power, 1,000 counter character that is animal type. This is just a vanilla. Okay, here we go. This is Emporio Ivankov. This is a 3 cost, 4,000 power, 1,000 counter. Impel Down Revolutionary Army character. It has the effect of, on play, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck and play up to 1 character card with a cost of 2. Then place the rest at the top or bottom of your deck. Okay, so I guess when you play him, you're going to reveal the top card, and then if it's a cost of 2, you play it. Otherwise, if it's a character card with a cost of 2, you'll play it. Otherwise, you can put it on the bottom or keep it on the top. Am I understanding that correctly? Y'all tell me if I misunderstood that. Reveal 1 card from the top of your deck and play up to 1 character card with a cost of 2. Not 2 or less, not 2 or more, just 2. Then place the rest at the top or bottom of your deck. So in other words, you'll reveal it. If it's a 2 cost, you can play it. If not, it has to go on the top or bottom of your deck. And then when attacking once per turn, draw 1 card if you have 6 or less cards in your hand. That's nice. This is a nice little effect here. And maybe if you can combo this with like the 1 cost Perona that does the top search, or the 3 cost what's his name, Doflamingo, something along those lines, then maybe you can get extra additional value out of it. So we'll have to see. But overall, I don't think this card's bad at all. I don't think it's crazy either. But that when attacking, drawing a card, they're going to have to deal with this card. And who knows, in this kind of deck, you could just restand it, right? If you have something to bounce back. If you have 6 or less cards, yes, that's pretty easy to get to, especially late in the game. Draw 1 if you have 6 or less cards, absolutely. Very nice. Okay, next up is Sanji. This is a 2 cost, 3,000 power, no counter. This is a blue Straw Hat Crew character with the effect of Dawn ×1 when attacking. If you have 5 or less cards in your hand, this character gains plus 2,000 power until the start of your next turn. So he's kind of like a 2 cost, 5,000 power character if you can get the Dawn ×1 attack off. Not bad. So you just have to have 5 or less cards in your hand, and then this character gets plus 2k until the start of your next turn. So you'll attach 1 Dawn, and you'll get plus 2,000. So it'll be a 2 cost 6k swinging with the 1 Dawn attachment. And then on your opponent's turn, it still has 5,000 power. So that's pretty nice. It doesn't have a counter, though. That kind of hurts it, but I think the card is still pretty decent. Next up, we got Charlotte Pudding. Is this another 2k? How many 2k counters have we seen? We saw Rika and Mihawk. Wow, interesting. Okay. Next up is Charlotte Pudding. This is a 2 cost, 2,000 power, 2,000 counter. Blue Big Mom Pirates type. Now that's interesting. This is a blue Big Mom Pirates. Very interesting. Activate main. Return this character to the owner's hand. Okay. Yeah. That works, right? I mean, that's completely fine. I guess you can use that. I feel like you'd want to use it with your leader's effect, though. Like, you'd play this down for 2, and then you'd use this effect. You may return one of your characters that costs 2 or more to the owner's hand, and then set one of your characters as active. So I'm not sure, but that does seem pretty decent. Y'all tell me if I'm missing something with this card. I don't play a lot of blue, and I definitely don't play much green. So if there's like a really cool interaction with this or with any card that we've gone over, by all means, please do share it in the comment section below. Okay, next up we got a Zeph card. 5 cost, 5,000 power, 1,000 counter. East blue type. Effect. On play, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck and place them at the top or bottom of the deck in any order. Okay, so top 3 scry, top 3 arranging. And then when attacking, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck and play up to 1 character card with a cost of 2 rested. Okay, very nice. Then place the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. At the bottom of your deck, because it's just 1 card. That's potentially very powerful, right? Because you're going to be able to swing with him and then swing with your leader for 6 to stand him and return that 2 cost to your hand. So it'll effectively be like a card draw. Now, I don't like how it's a cost of 2. I wish it was a cost of 2 or less. That's just me personally, especially like with something like, isn't Kaya East Blue as well this could have comboed with? Reveal one card from the top of your deck and play up to one character card with the cost of 2 rested. But then again, that wouldn't work with the leader's effect. So I guess it makes sense. Very solid though. It just stinks when it's that limited. So it has to be a 2 cost. It doesn't leave much wiggle room for like creativity, I guess. But y'all tell me what y'all think. Maybe I'm off on that. Okay, Duval. This is a 2 cost, 1,000 power, 1,000 counter blocker. The Flying Fish Riders. Real quick. Okay, Zeph is a strike character. I just had to read that real quick. So this is a blocker. With on play, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck and place them at the top or bottom of the deck in any order. So 2 really solid characters that are doing what you want them to do in a blue deck, where you're arranging your top card of your deck. And this is a 5 cost 5k in Zeph that doesn't. That can potentially draw you cards. And then you got Duval. This is a 2 cost 1k blocker. That's all you need, right? And then it has that added effect. Really nice. Big fan of this card. Really big fan. Because 2 cost, that is a very low cost card. And that allows for a lot of utility. That allows for you to set up a lot. Okay, next up we got Patty and Karn. This is a 2 cost, 4,000 power, 1,000 counter vanilla character. It is a slash attribute. Blue, East Blue type character. Okay, very nice. Lion Strike. Okay, now we're to the events. This is a 2 cost green Straw Hat Crew type event. It has trigger activate this main's effect. So the effect is main / counter. Rest up to one of your opponent's leaders or character cards with a cost of 4 or less. Wow. So pay 2 and just shut down your leader's attack, or your opponent's, their leader's attack. Or a 4 cost or less. I think this is very good. I'm not gonna lie. I think this is very solid, especially like I said in a potential like black and green deck like Isho or some new black and green deck coming out in the future. Maybe even Perona in OP06. I don't know. This is a solid effect. Being able as a 2 cost counter to rest your opponent's leader, that's very nice. That is very nice. Because remember, typically speaking, your opponent is going to wait to attack with their leader until the very end because they want to be able to attack with their characters first because they're typically more vulnerable. And honestly, they are more vulnerable. Because think about in this case, if your opponent has their leader and a 4 cost character in play and they swing with their leader, okay, you still get to use this counter to rest the character. Or if they swung with their character first, okay, now you rest the leader. It's kind of like a win-win scenario or situation. Very solid. I think this card is very good. Okay, and next up, and I think this is the last card. Yeah, this is Plastic Surgery Shot. Interesting name. 1 cost, blue, Straw Hat Crew type event. The effect is counter. Up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. It's not for the turn, it's during this battle. Then reveal 1 card from the top of your deck. Play up to 1 character card with a cost of 2, and place the rest at the bottom of your deck. Again, it's just revealing 1 card. So, I don't know. The way that this deck is laid out and the way it plays, I'm assuming you're going to want a lot of characters like Duval here. Like maybe this here's a 2 cost top 3 searcher. Here's a 5 cost top 3 searcher in Zeph. And then like the 3 cost, let me bring up, first let me bring up Perona. You've got this one here, 1 cost, look at the top 5. And then let me bring up, get this out of the way, Doflamingo. Let me see if it nice. Here's a 3 cost top 5. So you have some decent ability here. You've got all the ability you need to arrange the top card of your deck. But I think the question becomes how much momentum can you generate from this, right? That's really the question. Because okay, the nice thing about Zeph is you're gonna reveal the top card and potentially play out the character that costs 2, but it's going to be rested. So you're going to want to return that back with your leader's effect right away. And how many 2 cost cards are we going to be able to run? I'm guessing the 2 2Ks and maybe like the Sanji or something. Maybe that's why they have it in the deck. The Yusaku and Johnny was decent, but I didn't think this card was that crazy. But yeah, y'all tell me if y'all think of any good ones off the top of your head, because the way that if I were trying to make a deck that runs like this, I would definitely want to run off of the interaction of the 2 cost or less cards. Well, excuse me, the 2 cost, cheat out cards, whatever you want to call them. And the way that I would search that up is I would go green and blue, and then I'd go to cost. Let me go to 2 because it wants exactly a 2 cost card. Okay, and let's just sort by... We'll sort by color since they're all the same cost. So, like... Okay, first of all, any kind of trigger card like this is probably going to be pretty nice, even though the types probably don't really matter that much, and it's not slash type. Let me see this guy. You know, and I'm not going to go through all of these, but I think this is kind of the route you have to take. Here's another 2-cost 2K, so that's nice. Dawn times 1 when attacking, trash 1 card from your hand, return 1 of your opponent's characters with the cost of 3 or less to their hand. So that would probably be potentially very good as well. Because what you're trying to do, we'll look at more in a second. You know, you're trying to cheat out cards with something like this, with this Emporio Ivankov. On play, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck and play up to 1 character card with a cost of 2, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. And then the same thing with Zeph here, where you're, again, when attacking, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck and play up to 1 character card with the cost of 2, rested, then place the rest at the bottom. And Mihawk does the same thing, but he can, now Mihawk's a little different. He can drop out a 4 or less as long as you have 2 or less characters. So let's see. So does that mean you can have 1 character in play? Because when you play Mihawk, that will be 2 or less characters, so that you can play the other character. I believe. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm pretty sure that's right though. Yeah, that's really the 3 major interactions that I saw. Well, this is a 3 cost. Not quite as good as what I was trying to go for with the leader's effect. But it seems a little all over the place. I'm not going to lie. Like, for example, Dracula Mihawk, this card seems incredible, just period, just as is, where it's a 3-cost, 4,000 power counter, or 3-cost, 4,000 power character with a 2K counter. And then on play, remember, it's a 3-cost. On play, you can cheat out a 4 or less with him. And yes, it will be rested, but who cares? You just got a 3-cost 4K and a 4-cost 6K, or, you know, maybe a 4-cost 5K, depending on what you're playing. You just cheated it out and got momentum that way. And then you can potentially, if you're running this kind of leader, you'll be able to snag the card back to your hand later, if not on the same turn you're on. This card seemed pretty good. This 4-cost 6K did seem, this Zoro seemed very nice for the deck. But you're going to want to be able to combo it, like I said, with the Mihawk here. And probably, I feel like you need to have the ability to play out a 2-cost frequently. Number 1, to get the effect, and number 2, to turn on your leader's effect. So it seems a little bit picky, and it seems a little bit combo-esque, but I don't think it's horrible. I think it looks like a very fun deck to play and to pilot, but I wonder how competitive it is. I don't know if it can really be that competitive because of, you know, number 1, you guys know how it is. It's hard to have characters stick on the board. That's number 1. Number 2, having these little 2-cost characters down, you're going to have to, like, do it the turn of. And if you're doing things the turn of, you know, then maybe it'll work out. Some of the better cards I see in this set is definitely this Mihawk. This is just a nice 2K counter that can cheat out a 4-cost that's either Muggy Kingdom or Slash. This is nice. I think this card can go in most green decks just fine. Same thing with, I think it was this one. On play, if your opponent's... Nah, this one was a little more... Well, I mean, these are both 2K counters, the Pudding and the Rika. Of course, you can play these in any kind of blue or green deck you want to, and they're still 2K counters. But the better cards that I saw in this set was Mihawk, for sure. This Zoro was pretty good, especially in this deck, where it's a 4-cost 7K swinging with the 1 Dawn investment. That's going to rest characters that cost 6 or less. That's just nice. And if you can use the leader's effect to stand him and just start beating away, that's going to go a long way fast. So I'm a big fan of this card, of this 4-cost Zoro. Big fan of the 3-cost Mihawk. Big fan of the art on this Perona, just incredible. 4-cost 6K vanilla, very nice. The Ivankov is okay. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it does still seem like it's going to be a decent card, and there will probably be some type of impel down engine that makes this work better, that combos with like Perona and the Doflamingo and stuff like that. But I wonder if it's even for this deck, is like my mindset. Maybe this is for like an Emporio Ivankov style deck. But then again, yeah, probably, right? Because when attacking, once per turn, draw 1 card if you have 6 or less cards. That deck likes to run low in cards in hand, so it can always use the leader's effect. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. I don't think this card's horrible, though. I don't think the Zeph is that bad either, especially in this blue-green style deck where you're going to be able to keep getting fuel. This seems very good. This Pudding seemed very good as well to use with this leader's effect. But last but not least, I think the last two. So in other words, I think the Mihawk's really good. The Zoro's really good. The Ivankov is okay. Zeph is okay. This Duval card was actually solid. This is just a nice 2-cost 1,000 power blocker with a 1,000 counter on it that has this great top 3 scry effect. That's outstanding. I think this card's excellent. All the vanillas are fine, obviously. But then I really like this Lion Strike card. I feel like this is potentially a very powerful card. We'll have to see. I do think this card's very good. Like I said, I've been kind of wanting a card like this. Now, of course, y'all know me. I play almost exclusively the black color in this game. The decks that run black are my thing. And this card, I would love to have in there. Because, okay, you're going to smash in, like this. Let's just say they swing in with Big Mom, right? Okay, they're swinging in for 12 with Big Mom. Okay, well, I'm going to counter, and now you're going to lose your leader's effect. Or, excuse me, your leader's attack. You see what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's really solid. I feel like this card could be very good. Now, yes, they can play around it if they know you have it, but I don't think many people are going to expect this card. Unless, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. You know, meta changes. But I do think this card has some potential, especially at 2 costs, being able to totally shut down. I mean, think about it. If there was a card that said pay 2, you know, I don't know, pay 2 and cancel an attack, I think a lot of people would run that. You know, cancel leader attack, I think a lot of people would run that. Very nice. Wasn't as big a fan of plastic surgery, but the Lion Strike here, very good. All right, guys. Well, that's about it. Hope y'all enjoyed. And if you got any comments, questions, don't be afraid to ask in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And definitely tell me what you guys think about this deck. Are you looking forward to playing this, even though it's like 4 months away for us over here in the West? Are you looking forward to this deck coming out? Or is it more like, I don't know, how competitive you think this deck will be? Does that even matter to you? Maybe you just want to play at locals and stuff. You know, you tell me. All right, guys. Until next time. Peace.